Hey, Giant fans. Welcome to the Giant Insider podcast. My name's Jerry Foley. I'm the senior editor of the Giant Insider newspaper, and with me, as always, is the beat writer, the heart of Giants Nation. Nobody beats the biz, Chris Bizignano. Chris, before we begin this episode, I want to thank our sponsor, Fitzpatrick's Crest Tavern, located at 9600 Pacific Avenue in Diamond Beach, which is just between Wildwood Crest and Cape May. They have 18 widescreen TVs, a huge selection of beers on tap, a number of appetizers, including the Mardi Gras shrimp, which is my favorite, and a number of delicious menu items as well, or dinner items as well, I should say. Baked grouper, linguine and mussels, broiled or fried flounder. So if you find yourself vacationing in the South Jersey Shore, head over to Fitzpatrick's Crest Tavern and tell the owner, Sam Fitzpatrick, that the Giant Insider sent me, like Joey Z did for us. It's Fitzpatrick's Crest Tavern, 9600 Pacific Avenue in Diamond Beach, the best shuck in town. First off, before we get going, Chris, I just want to thank everybody who joined the watch party last night. 66 people at one point. It was insane. Thanks, guys. You made it. You made it as tolerable as possible watching that. Now, Chris, both of us had them losing. I had 34-17. I guess from a point differential standpoint, I was pretty close. Right, it was 30-12 final. But I thought that 34-17 would be the result of like a last second kind of touchdown that got them closer. The strange thing about this game for me, Chris, and tell me if I'm wrong, it felt like a game for about three quarters. And look, guys, the 49ers are immensely more talented. We have a number of problems, right? From a talent standpoint, from a tackling standpoint, we'll get into it. But it felt like a game for three quarters. We were in it. I think Jones did all he could. But in the end, the end result was not surprising. This is one of the best teams in the league, definitely the NFC, but the league as well. And you just saw how far the Giants have to go to still get to that level of competition, in my opinion, Chris.
Yeah, you know what? This isn't a matter of right and wrong, but I'm going to differ. Like you felt it was a game. I got to be honest with you. Even when it was 17-12, I didn't think it was. I still was looking at this game like when I'm winning this game. Yeah. That's the feeling I had. And they made it 20-12 and all that. I understand the scoreboard said they win the game, and it's right. You make a play, you could take the lead, whatever it might be. But that whole second half, even when they cut it, I was looking at it like, okay, it's nice. It's 17-12. Now it's 20-12 Niners, but they're not winning this game. That's the look, Jerry, this is just my opinion. This isn't right.
I guess I should say that the score was way closer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, everybody, look, Jerry, you're right. It was a game. It was 17-12 in the second half. It was a game. I'm just telling you my opinion. I was looking at it like, okay, it might be 17-12, but I still don't think they have any chance of winning this game. That was the feeling I was getting. Yeah. And if Dable kicks that extra point, by the way, which he should have, in my opinion, you would have been right in the head. 17-point difference.
Don't chase the points, man.
Yeah, I mean, we both had 10+ points, right, that we're going to lose by. And the Giants, man, look, in the first half and the second half, it was a game. It was a game on paper and all that, but as usual, when the defense needed to get a stop, or better yet, actually just make a play, make a defensive turnover. Somebody make a play. They couldn't do it. The Niners went down the field, ended it, and all that. You know what? Looking at the Niners, and even when it was 17-12 or 20-12, you looked at the Niners squad. I didn't get a sense they were like, oh, man, this is I still got a sense like we got these guys.
Brock Purdy seemed very comfortable when he was in the huddle, kind of laughing. He didn't seem like anything he was worried about too much. Yeah.
And he was doing very well against the blitz. Wayne kept blitzing him and Purdy kept hurting him.
Yeah.
I put out the stats a little while ago. He had very good stats against the blitz.
Ridiculous.
Last night. So look, like you said, we all know the Niners are a better team, but that doesn't mean, you can't win a game against if you're playing a team that's not in your weight class.
Right.
So how do you win a game against a team that's not in your weight class? And the Niners are like, let's just say heavyweight, the Giants are middleweight. I like to do it boxing. I like to use boxing references,
Yep.
Well, you have to get some turnovers. That was one of my keys. They didn't do that again.
And they had, Chris, I'll talk about opportunities to get them.
Yeah. I mean, in the first half,
3.
They had like 3, right? Opportunities. One, Dory just kind of sat back waiting for it. Kittle got over, knocks it down. A couple of the balls guys had hands on, could have made. They didn't do the job. They don't have a turnover yet. Okay. You guys like Xavier McKinney want to get paid big money as a safety. So when you get, the safeties that make big money in this league, they're difference makers. They make plays. He's not doing that. Matter of fact, he's not doing anything.
Oh, he looks, Chris, this is the worst I've ever seen him play. He looks terrible.
So, you have to make impact plays when you play a team that's better than you, especially on the road, especially on a short week. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that. The defense, once again, couldn't get off the field in third down. And in that first half, on that second drive when the Niners scored, a 3rd and 13 and a 3rd and 15, a 3rd and 12, and 2 plays that missed tackles, wrong angles, wrong leverages, and they convert 2 long third downs of receivers.
One was the bubble screen. Yeah.
I mean, it's inexcusable. Yep. It really is. And the Niners go down and score. So the Giants just can't get off the field on third down this year. Can't do that, I guess. And to me, Jerry, speaking of, your point about it was a game, and it was in the first half, the Giants had them on the ropes a little bit, Brock Purdy. He did not look good in the first half, Brock Purdy.
No, not at all.
Those boots, Shanahan loves to run. He'll run about 50 a game. Those boots. Giants were right up in there, and those boots played it well. Purdy was unloading the ball a few times, missed a couple of guys like he did last week against the Rams.
Yeah.
He settled down in the second half, played much better. But in the first half, if they make a couple of plays, to your point, Jerry, about being a game, if they make a couple of plays in that first half, couple of picks, you know what? I would have been sitting there in the second half going, this is a game.
Yeah.
We're right there because they might have even been tied or 2 points or whatever hell it might have been if they would have made a few plays, but they're not.
Right.
They're not making plays.
Yeah.
Through the first 3 games of the season. They don't have a turnover. They got a couple of sacks last night. Thibodeau got a coverage sack. And Leo, I think DJ shared the other one. Had a couple of hits, but once again, really not doing the job up front. So Wink blitzed the crap out of him last night, and they got there a few times, especially in the first half. They got some good pressure in the first half, forced Purdy to unload.
Yeah.
Second half, but one of the keys too, obviously, was slowing down McCaffrey, trying to contain him a little bit. They didn't do that. McCaffrey
not at all.
gashing.
Not at all.
He was gashing. I think Mitchell was gaining some yards. And you know what? You looked at it sometimes with McCaffrey. He was like slithering in those holes, but I saw plays last night that looked like they could have got him around the line of a 1 or 2 yard gain. Yeah. But arm tackles, nobody's wrapping up.
Yep.
Attitude, Jerry. Tackling is technique.
Yep.
And the main thing is attitude. I just put a play on Twitter. Thibodeau just, he just puts his arms out a little bit. Guy bounces off him, gains another more yards. I mean, the technique is just horrific right now, and the attitude is just not there, man.
I lost that last night when I saw it. They showed that replay. It was such a bad play by Thibodeau. He was kind of grabbing him, and then he kind of let him go. And listen, man, I'm not trying to pick on the guy, and I'm not going to sit there and say everybody's saying bust, guys. Let's relax. It's what 19 games into his career, but if you're going to say primetime loves me, you got to do better than that, man. Like, this is why people jump on him, right? And then makes the comments this week again. We get what he was saying, that the fans got on him down 20-0, and then all of a sudden they were cheering. Well, yeah, that's kind of how sports work. Right. But look, aside from that, like you said, dude, the scary thing is, Chris, the effort just doesn't seem to be there, and you don't want to question that. But what the hell else can you come to? What conclusion can you come to besides that? And then everybody's saying, well, is it because of training camp they don't hit? But the Niners don't either, right? Like, all these other teams don't do that either. So the playing field is kind of leveled there. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about, well, training camp is what it is. Yeah, okay. Well, the 49ers don't have this special privilege where they get to drill each other in training camp. So their tackling's really good.
Yeah, they're not doing 2 of these.
Right. So it's puzzling. And look, man, I think we were both more excited about the offense coming into the season, but neither of us, I think, you'll agree, expected this defense to look like this. I mean, these guys, they look clueless, and it looks effortless. There's no effort. The fundamentals are terrible. Like, this is a DEFCON 5 or 1, whatever the bad one is right now on defense, dude. Pass rush is non-existent. I actually thought the secondary at first in that game was doing well. I really did. Yeah. And then when they scored, it was like, oh, here we go. And Hawkins had a bad game. Look, he's a 6th-round rookie. I'm not going to kill him for missing tackles. It is what it is. But these guys look too tentative, Chris. Just all across the board on defense, dude. It was disastrous.
Yeah, and there was a lot of contested passes in the first half. The Giants corners were there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of contested balls in the
Yeah.
first half. And then Debo did his thing in the second half, but I mean, a few times you saw Debo last night just doing a little in cut and 4 guys bouncing off him and he's gaining
Horrible.
20 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Debo's a big, strong boy, but that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
And especially when you got 2 safeties that are big boys themselves.
Yep.
And Pinnock missing tackles left and right the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Taking the wrong leverage on screens.
Angles are terrible.
Angles.
Oh.
Getting caught up in blocks.
Yeah.
Just right now, the defense is not fundamentally sound at all. So, look, you can't hit during the week, right? In these practices, the union years ago, no more tackling in camps, no more 2-a-days. Okay. Well, guess what? It's you just see and it's not just the Giants. I mean, the Giants are really bad, but a lot of teams just terrible tackling, man.
Yeah.
But the Niners, you look at them last night, and like you said, Jerry, they're not doing 2-a-days. They're not hitting them for training camp.
Right.
But they're fundamentally sound,
Yep.
And the Giants got to get back. Dable just said it. He just met with us on Zoom, and he says, well, we do tackling drills, technique, all that stuff during the week. We're going to have to keep doing it, because they don't hit. Okay. Yeah. So they don't hit. Years ago, okay, guys, put the pads on, get ready,
Right.
And we're going to start hitting because you guys can't tackle on a Sunday. But now those days are gone, and all that stuff. And I still think that's part of the reason why guys get injured early in the year. I really do. You see
I agree with you. I agree with you.
See it all over the league.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
So just like you said, the defense, to me, this is the biggest surprise of this early season. How bad they look. Last night 400+ yards. Purdy comes alive in the second half. Missed tackles. Can't get off the field in third down. 9-16 last night. The 49ers. Red zone a little bit better. 2-5. A little bit better. But
yeah,
the bottom, Jerry, to have one drive where a team converts a 3rd and 15 and a 3rd and 12 or 13, whatever it was, that's just inexcusable, man.
Inexcusable, man.
And especially, Jerry, against a team like the 49ers, you just can't. So the Giants just didn't do what they had to do to beat a team that is much better than them.
I think what's the biggest surprise to me, Chris, is the additions they brought in to stop the run, and it's not working. Okereke, Ashawn Robinson, Nacho, right? Oddly enough, the guy who looks the best right now by leaps and bounds on this defense is Micah McFadden. Now, one of the games, I forget Dallas or the Cardinal game, he was missing tackles left and right. Last night, he looked like the only impactful guy, the only impactful player on defense. But that's the most disappointing too. Like Okereke looks average to below average right now, dude. Him flying off of I think it was Debo on the one play was shocking on the one pass play. But, they're not doing anything to stop the run. The tackling is piss poor. I don't know where they go from here other than to like you said, get back to fundamentals. But man, this is alarming right now, man.
Yeah. And if it continues, this is going to be a 5-win team.
Yeah, totally.
So you have 10 days off. You got to reset the mind.
Yep.
And get that attitude, man.
Yeah.
And come out with some fire and go, you know what? I'm going to put my helmet right now, guys up in its chest on a running play and drive him down to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I've seen too many guys kind of like these little arms hits, and Hawkins last night, one time he just kind of threw his shoulder and arm. Yeah. Terrible technique. And, Banks, even Tay Banks on one play, I think it was against Debo. Looked like he wasn't 100% committed to throwing that hat in there,
Yeah.
And I get, this is the NFL. And I'm going to tell you something else, Jerry. Look, Jerry, this is a playoff team, the Giants this year, and they have playoff aspirations this season. This is the NFL. Nobody wants to hear about, they were in the game in the first half and the score in the second half. They were striking. They could have did something. So you know what? The Niners are a better team. So we were right there in the second half. So that's kind of a moral victory. I saw that last night. No way.
Yeah, especially when you look at the stats, man.
Stop with that now. That you can't have that attitude, man. The Giants were a playoff team this year, and they're looking to get back to the playoffs. So throw that stuff out the window too. Yeah, and you look at the final stats, and that kind of indicative to me, Jerry. Right? I get it. They had a short field once, the Giants. They got that touchdown and cut it to 17-12.
And short field because of a stupid penalty on the 49ers too.
Right. A stupid penalty. Absolutely. And they had the short field. They went down, I think it was 30 yards, whatever it was, and they scored. They scored, excuse me. And they scored. But, the final stats was sort of indicative, right?
They don't lie.
They don't lie. And the film doesn't lie. And I put that out this morning about a lot of things going on in the defense, and the film doesn't lie. This isn't just my opinion. Just look at it on film. So PFF came out this morning and excuse me again. 16 missed tackles. It felt like it was more. Really, the last week there was 15. This week,
last night felt like 60 compared to last week.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It should have reversed the number. That's what I felt.
Yeah. Right.
So it was 15 against Arizona Sunday 5 days ago. Now it was 16 last night. So that's got to get cleaned up. But these are good offenses coming in here, man. I mean, the Giants will be playing. I should say the Giants will be playing some good offenses coming up. Seattle, Miami.
Good luck with that.
And Buffalo. And even Washington showed signs of life with their offense last week, and with their new coordinator, Bieniemy, let's see how they might keep progressing and become a pretty steady offense themselves, and all that. So, I mean, if you don't start cleaning this up, Miami and Buffalo are going to blow you out of the building. They're playing on the road against these two teams. They get very good quarterbacks, very good offenses. They're going to get their doors blown off.
It's funny what you said about film, because I thought last night, if I'm Xavier McKinney, I'm wearing a blindfold for the next film session. I don't mean to pick on him, Chris, but this is a guy. We talked about guys that need to step up this year if they're going to take that next step. And we both said Xavier McKinney, okay, that sounds kind of funny because he's one of the best players on the team, one of the best players on defense, but he's got to get to that next level, especially without Julian Love next to him. And he's regressed to the point where he's almost unrecognizable to me. It seems like he goes for a strip every time. He makes a play here and there where he batted the ball down, I think last week. I think he batted a ball down against Dobbs, but this is the worst I've ever seen him. He's playing himself. I know it's early, but he's playing himself out of a second contract. He just is. Like, if he continues to play like this, there's no way you're re-signing him.
Why would you?
And first off, he's not going to get any close to what he wants. And second, he's not going to be re-signed. He just isn't. I'm stunned at how poorly he's playing. And it's not just him, but you said something before about Banks and Hawkins, like kind of not half-assing it, but they didn't go in for the hit. If the veterans on this team are not doing that, to me, that is such a piss poor example for the rookies. I know the rookies know they have to do that, but if you're seeing, other guys on this team who've been around a while not doing it, it's like, what kind of example is that to lead for these rookies? I mean, look, they have to do a job, but that cannot happen, Chris. It cannot happen that one of the best players on your defense has looked as bad as he has. It's one thing to try to strip the ball at the goal line against Dobbs, but what I saw last night, I thought was horrible. He has to come out Monday night and reestablish himself as one of the premier safeties in this league, or an up-and-coming riser. But man, I'm flabbergasted at how disappointed I am in McKinney and his play so far, man.
Yeah. It's not all McKinney, it's just that he's one of the guys you look at and say, okay,
Right.
we need impact plays from you.
Yeah, right.
And right now he's not doing it, which is a little, he's playing on his contract year too, man,
Yeah.
And like you said, if the season ended today, and it doesn't, there's 14 games left, plenty of football.
Yep.
But if I'm the general manager of the Giants, and it's, right now you look at it and go, I'm not re-signing this guy.
Yeah.
So he has to pick it up. I mean, he has in the past. He has made a lot of plays in the past, but right now he's not. And that's one of the guys they look at to make some impact plays. And right now he's not. Who is? I mean, like I said, McFadden was the best defensive player on the field. He had 4 TFLs last night, 10 tackles. He had some missed tackles too again. But this is, Jerry, at the end of a game, we shouldn't, and the next day we do this podcast to review the game, we should not be saying this. Mike McFadden was the best player on the defense.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It should be Leo was the best player on the defense. Dexter Lawrence, Leo, and that Dexter's playing well. I'm not saying he's not.
I thought Leo had a decent game too.
Leo played better, no question. But we should be saying, hey, McKinney was the best player. He was all over the field. Leo, Dex,
right.
or Thibodeau or
Right.
Aziz, forget about it. He's not on the field. But guys like that, that's what we should be saying, right? Even a Hurricane, right?
Right.
Big free agent sign. Oh, Bobby was the best player on the field. We should be saying McFadden was the best. And that's 2 out of 3 weeks now that I said, I don't know about how you feel.
Yeah.
McFadden was the best player on the field.
Yes.
He led the team in tackles against Dallas at 10.
It's not even close.
So we shouldn't be saying that. Okay. Now I'm happy for Micah, although he has to clean up some things too.
Mhm.
But he played much better than he did against Arizona, and he was the best player on the field. And I'm happy for Micah, but we shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. He needs to be a pleasant surprise, not someone we're leaning on.
It's insane that 2 out of 3 weeks we said, well, who's the best player on the field, Jerry and Chris? Defensively, Micah McFadden. What?
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to take a break. It's 20 minutes already. Going to take a break. Be right back after this. You'll listen to the Giant Insider podcast. Hang on. And we're back, folks. You listen to the Giant Insider podcast with Jerry Foley and Chris. Nobody Eats the Biz Ignano. Want to stay on the defense or you want to jump over to the offense now?
Well, let's talk about the offense a little bit. I think we kind of lane based the defense.
Yeah, we did enough. Yeah.
You look at the offense, and I know a lot of people ask about Jalen Hyatt, but look, they only had 45 plays. Dave's just came out and says we had some packages. We had some, but it just didn't work out. Now he only played 19 plays out of the 45. And, when you have 45 plays, you saw what happened with the Jets too last week. You saw they didn't get the ball to Breece Hall, this guy who's complaining over there. Yep. Because when you only have 45 snaps, it's not, so you got to chalk it up to a few things. It just wasn't going right personnel-wise and only 45 plays. Now, that being said, you want to see Jalen. Even if he plays 19, you like to see him get targeted a few times. But whatever way the play develops, it develops.
Yep.
Daniel, look, the offense was what? The offense was get the ball out of his hands quick, right? That's why Paris Campbell led the team in receptions. Wandell made some grabs early on. They were using that slot, getting guys out of the slot, going after Isaiah Oliver a little bit. And they took a few shots with Slayton and all that. But obviously, as the game went along, the 49ers were getting pressure. They had a couple of sacks. They were getting hits. Daniel had to get rid of the ball quick. Up front, look, they went with Lemieux.
And real quick, before you go on, guys, there's a reason why Lemieux does not play. So anybody who thought he was going to be the savior at guard, he cannot pass block. You saw it last night, the liability is. And on the play where Hyatt was wide open down the field, Daniel couldn't get rid of it because someone literally blew Lemieux up. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Right. Now, Jerry, you just took the words out of my mouth.
So,
look, did he deserve that shot over Glowinski because of the injuries and they have no faith in Glowinski and Lemieux kind of finished preseason strong? Yes, he did. Sure. Okay, I'll give it to you. But he also showed last night that he's just not a starting guard in this league.
Nope.
What has always been the issue with Shane? Pass pro.
Yeah.
And it came out again last night.
Yep.
The interior of the offensive line was definitely a big key going into this game against those monsters up front for the 49ers. And a lot of times they got whipped up front. Azudo kind of held his own, gave up some pressures, didn't embarrass himself though, didn't give up a sack. And Evan Neal gave up a few pressures, played better and all that.
I thought Evan Neal played pretty well overall.
Yeah, I know he tweaked that ankle in the fourth quarter. Hopefully he's had those ankle injuries. Hopefully he's all right. Look, Bellinger didn't slide over on Bosa that one play, late getting over there. Bosa gets the sack at the goal line.
Yep.
Daniel would like to have some balls back, to a few high balls. Now, you could argue all you want. Shuwalev caught one. Wallace should definitely caught the other two. He's 6'6". You got to climb up a little bit better than that. You got people saying, "Oh, it's too high," and you got other people like me saying, "Well, looks like there's a couple balls that could have been grabbed." Too. Another ball off Waller's hands, interception. So Daniel now has 4 interceptions on the season in 3 games, 3 of them with deflections.
Yes.
Now the zone, I see a lot of people like, what happened to his legs? And I'll tell you what happened to Daniel's legs was Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. That's what happened to Daniel's legs. These guys are well coached. Right. These guys are real fast. These guys are real good. And you could tell what Steve Wilkes was doing. He's like, their game plan was, well, they're not going to run on us, which they didn't. Okay. And then the Giants, you have to attack the Niners through the air. It's tough to run on them. Obviously, it might have changed. Probably would have changed a lot if Saquon was playing. But their game plan was like, well, we're not letting Daniel run wild here. Okay. So they mirrored him.
Yeah.
Greenlaw and Warner are real good. Fred Warner's one of the best in the game.
Yep.
So it wasn't fair for Daniel, with the zone read. He ran a few times. Actually had a real nice play, got out of the pocket, dumped it off to Brightwell. It is what it is. Not much time. Offense, 150 yards.
Yeah, total. You said the least in 10 years.
Yeah, the fewest in 10 years.
Wow.
On 45 plays. And look, you want more plays? You want different personnel packages? You want height more? Well, you got to convert on third down, right? They were 3 of 12 in third down.
Yeah.
That means the 49ers are getting the ball back. Niners were 9 of 16 on third down.
I thought it would have been high. I thought it would have been higher.
Yeah, it seemed like that, right? Because at one time, Jerry was like 8 of 10 or something, 8 of 11.
Yeah.
So the Giants got a few third down in the fourth quarter there, made it 53%. But most of the game, it was like 70%, right?
And not to lambaste the defense again, but like I said, dude, when teams go up against us and it's 3rd and 16, to me it feels like 3rd and 5. But it just feels like that this is so convertible. But what's where I am on offense, Chris, with this team is like I can't believe I'm here, but Daniel Jones is the least of my worries on this team on offense. Like he doesn't scare me at all. I think he's insanely accurate. I think he's smart. I mean, look, I don't pay attention to a lot of what other people say, but somebody had a clip today of saying that Daniel looked scared last night. Like, guys, he was reading a damn defense. You could tell he was looking over what they were doing.
Who the hell said he looked scared?
I saw something earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like come
on. Was that the video that was showing his eyes?
Yes. What the hell? Like you talk about making a damn mountain out of a molehill. He's looking over the defense to see what they're doing. Are you kidding me?
Jerry, thank you for clarifying that for me because I caught that video. I saw somebody from WFAN, right? Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, they put something about. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. All I saw was this is the video. This is the video I'm talking about. And Jerry, honestly, I was doing so much this morning that I didn't really look into like what video you talk. And then I saw some people responded. He's reading the defense. What are you talking about?
That's all he was doing.
Okay, so that's what it was. Jerry, thanks for bringing it up because I really didn't know that. So the topic was that he looks scared. No, Daniel. No, when you go up to the line of scrimmage,
he looks the way he can't change his face. Like, get over it. Come on.
Give me a break. When quarterbacks walk up the line of scrimmage, they look left and right quick. They're trying to get a read on the defense. They want to see where the mic is, the linebacker is, and the secondary had the pre-snap look and all that. Scared? No, Daniel's not scared.
He doesn't. And you know what? You could tell a scared quarterback when they're constantly throwing out. They're leaning back when they throw, and they're throwing like they're almost like getting away from the rush. He doesn't do that. He stands in there, gets hit, delivers what he can. But look, behind this offensive line, and they didn't play that bad last night. They were okay. I mean, for us, for what we've seen over the last 10 years, this was pretty damn good. Right. But to say that, man, it's just my point is, Chris, he's the least of my worries on this offense. That's where I am with Daniel Jones. If you give him time, I have full confidence that we can move the ball and win games.
Well, I think he showed that last week in the second half, right?
Yeah.
So they played two of the better defenses, and they got whipped up front. For the look, they didn't get whipped as bad as they did against Dallas.
No.
I actually thought it was going to be worse. I got to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be worse.
So did I.
But, 49ers defense is real good. But like everybody else, Daniel has to have a shot too, Yeah. So no, Jerry, I agree with you 100%, bro. I'm not worried about Daniel. You got to get him some help too, though.
I got a question.
Was there a few balls? I'm sure he liked to get down a little bit on Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one in the fourth quarter, third and whatever. Yeah.
I agree. But Daniel Jones is not the concern of the offense right now.
Nope.
Okay. He's not I don't look at this offense and say, well, we have guys wide open, but Daniel's missing. He's got all the time, or he's got all the time in the world, but Daniel's just not making play. No, no Saquon, no real. Look, the 49ers haven't given. I mean, I read a stat yesterday morning, which I couldn't believe. I had to look at it twice. Like, wait a minute, this can't be right? Yeah. The 49ers haven't allowed a 70-yard plus rusher in 32 starts or something, straight games.
Wow.
They haven't allowed a rusher.
Had no idea.
Running back to rush for 70 plus yards. And I looked at that stat, Jerry. I'm like, nah, this can't be right. I'm looking, I'm going through I'm like, wow. Well, it's right, you know.
Yeah, wow.
So, you know, to say you're going to go in, excuse me, and run the ball a lot against these guys probably isn't going to happen. Okay, you got to beat them through the air. The Rams almost did last week, but the Giants couldn't do enough. But I look at Daniel, and I don't look at Daniel and say, yeah, he's one of the big problems right now. No, I look at the offensive line's got to get better, you know, and all that. And I may have to establish a run game too, you know. So that'll start coming into play. Look, Jerry, I put something out last night. I don't know. You tell me if you agree with me on this. Yeah. There's a very good chance they were going to be 1-2. We talked about this after 3 games. We said, well, we both thought they would beat Dallas, and we'll go. You know what? You want the 49er game? We kind of conceded, right? We weren't talking like back in August saying, oh, well, we think they could beat the Niners. Look, you always played them. Don't get me wrong. But we kind of conceded this game, the 4 days rest, staying out west, the whole deal, right? We kind of conceded this game. And then we were hoping they would get that Dallas game and kind of go into that Seattle game 2-1. It didn't work like that. Of course, that was a very good possibility. It wouldn't work like that because Dallas is a good team. So they're 1-2. Luckily, they came back against Arizona because this would be a very different conversation if they were 0-3. But,
yeah, it would. Yeah.
But 1-2, Jerry, 10 days off. They're going to get some guys back, maybe even Saquon. To me, I know everything in this market is a big deal. But I don't care if it's a high ankle sprain. You know, the team put low ankle sprain. Saquon told somebody it was high ankle sprain, but he also said, yeah, it's a good chance I can play against Seattle. It's feeling much better. And Dave said that. So I don't care, Jerry, if it was a high ankle, low ankle, because he might play against Seattle.
Right.
Now, if the Giants came out and said it was a low ankle sprain and Saquon's going to be out for 4 more weeks, I'd be like, well, what are we doing, guys? You're telling us low ankle, meanwhile it's high ankle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if Saquon plays the next game, I could give a crap less if it was low or high, the report. This, to me, it's not a big deal, okay?
Right.
So you might get Saquon back against Seattle. He's a pretty quick healer. I could see that happening, okay? You're going to probably get Andrew back. You might even get Aziz back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, maybe. You might get Aziz back. You're going to get
I don't even consider him right now, but go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand. He's getting to that point, right? Like, okay, like Kadarius Toney at times. Like, okay, well, let me know when he plays, right?
Yeah, right.
So I put something on last night. Late at night, Jerry, I couldn't sleep. You know, you get jacked up at these games, you know, and all that stuff, and you don't really. At least I don't. When I come back from the stadium, you're still like, wow, you don't get to bed at 3 a.m. Anyway,
yeah.
You agree? I put the season starts now.
Chris, I think I said it on the last podcast.
There one. Did you? I'm sorry.
I might have. Yeah, no, I completely. When I saw your tweet, I completely agree.
Right,
I may have. If I didn't mention it, I was at least thinking it. Right. I completely agree. 1,000%.
I look at it, Jerry, like, okay, they got to clean up a lot of things. We'll see if they can do it.
Yeah.
Especially on the defense. We just discussed this for 30 minutes, me and you, right? So, and they're going to get some guys back. Andrew will be back. That'll be huge coming back. Saquon, hopefully, on all that. And you play Seattle at home Monday night game. You just embarrass yourself twice on prime time, basically. So you're trying to get a little redemption there. You got to get some more attitude. The season starts now. The season starts now, folks.
Yep.
They're 1-2. If they could beat a playoff team, Seattle, who's probably going to be 2-1 going into that game, then you could get things rolling. If you lose the Seattle Monday night game, I'm going to say right now, the season's in serious jeopardy. Because you got to go to Miami and Buffalo, okay, the following week. And Chris, they got to go to anyway. When you win a game and you do a lot of things right and you clean up a lot of stuff, well, that's a different football team going into Miami. You get what I'm saying?
Totally.
So
I believe, like, if they lost to the Cardinals, I think last night would have even been worse. I do.
They would have lost to the Cardinals. Me and you right now be talking about, the final nail in the coffin probably for this football season.
Yes.
But they didn't. They wanted to. Right. Yeah. So the season starts. Excuse me. Got this thing in my throat today. The season starts. And no, it's not the missed tackles, folks. The season starts next Monday night against Seattle. And then we'll see how they go there. And then they get, and then you see from there on. So big game. Obviously, big. Every game's big, but some games are bigger than others during the regular season. This is a real big one Monday night. They have to win this game or this season will probably spiral out of control. This
one's huge. I had a question for you, Chris. When Thomas is healthy, does Azudu stay in as guard? Okay.
Jerry, I could see him at left guard.
Right.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Brennison. I'm sorry, that's another guy, Brennison. Does he go to right guard? I could see it. It's going to be him and McKethan. I think Azudu's better than McKethan. I can see Azudu going to right guard. I think
Okay.
Brennison will be back at left guard.
Okay.
Andrew, obviously Schmitz, and I think Azudu at right guard, and then Neal at right tackle. That would probably be their best offensive line.
Yeah.
McKethan struggled a bit at times last night.
But he's like he's not noticeable to
Not
me.
noticeable. Yes.
Like whereas Lemieux gets thrown around, as you would say,
right,
like a beanbag.
Right.
That doesn't happen to McKethan.
Right. Look, he didn't play bad last night.
Right.
Struggle at time. But God, you're talking about all pros in the middle of the line. You talk about they come at you with Hargraves and Armsteads. Come on. You know what I mean? So at times you're going to lose some one-on-ones. He struggled at times a little bit. But didn't embarrass himself, McKethan. He's not embarrassing himself. He's serviceable right now. He's playing pretty decent. Yeah. I told you back in camp how much they like this kid, Jerry.
Yep,
I told but you asked about Azudu, so I believe Brennison is back. He'll be out of concussion protocol. He probably would have played if the game was Sunday.
He would have played. Yeah.
And I think Azudu slides over to right guard. I do. I think that those 5 are the best starting offensive linemen. And they could settle it down a little bit, get it settled down a little bit, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And that's why I asked, because I think Azudu's done a hell of a job at left tackle for what we were expecting. Like I really didn't know what to expect. Obviously,
you think he's going to go left guard
or right guard? One of them. Right.
So you think Brennison to be out? Oh, Brennison goes. What do you think?
No. What do I think would happen? I think when Brennison comes back, he plays, but I think Azudu stays in for Glowinski.
So you think he goes? Like I said, you did. Like said, you think he goes around? I wasn't sure if you thought he's going to go to left guard for Brennison.
No. The only thing is, if they loved the job McKethan's doing, I don't know if they would keep him in and then Azudu, but I don't think that'll happen.
Hey Jerry, look. This is why you practice during the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is why you look. I thought Glowinski was going to start a left guard last night, and he went with Lemieux.
Yeah.
So Jerry, am I going to sit here and say, "Oh no, Jerry, you're wrong"? Look, it could be. It could be Azudu a left guard, and it could be McKethan a right guard next game. Look, I'm not. We'll see how they do it. No, we're not privy to that unless somebody leaks it in my ear. We're not, and that's what I mean.
Yeah,
they might try that combination during the week, practice it, and when the coaches get together on a Friday afternoon, okay, what are we going with? That could be the combination. We'll find out next week.
Yeah, I just think the job Azudu's done at left tackle warrants him staying. Hopefully, warrants him staying in at one of those positions, because I just think he's been better than I've expected. I mean, you're replacing our best lineman by leaps and bounds and Andrew Thomas, and you've kind of held up. I mean, look, there's going to be he's given up some pressures and a sack here and there, but he's held up nicely for who we had to replace. So
absolutely,
you figure that could translate to guard and keep him in now. Let this kid play. And over the injury from last year, so. I think he's only going to get better, you would think. I wanted to bring up something else on offense. Oh,
and it's a nice guy to have, right? If Neal goes down, you could kick him out the right tackle.
Right.
Obviously we saw it already now with Andrew.
Yeah.
And you look at him and you put him a left tackle and say, you're not doing this all game. Oh, here we go, 3rd and 5. Let's see this. Let's do a prayer, right? No. You feel pretty confident with Josh at left tackle. I do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Jerry, is it safe to say? I hate to say it. You tell me if you agree with me on this. I actually feel a little more confident with Josh pass blocking than I do with Evan Neal.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I kept looking over at Neal all night because I was worried about that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Azudu's been a pleasant surprise at left tackle for me in the last 2 games.
Yep, I agree.
There was something else. Oh, there's another guy. I don't need to pick, this isn't like the pick on podcast, but unfortunately I'm a little surprised at the production of this team so far. And one of those guys, Chris, has been Paris Campbell. Like, I don't know, he just seems there's no yards after the catch, and I don't know if he needs new cleats, but he had a tough time staying on his feet last night. Like, man, I don't want to come on here every week and find flaws with everyone and say nothing positive, but it's been a little disappointing so far. And as someone that I said they should go get, and someone I predicted that would, the 13 guys I predicted would come here, I got 1 for 13. But he's been a little disappointing so far as well. That's all.
Well, look, he delivered the team with receiving last night receptions, but you like to see it get a little yak out of him, right?
Right.
Like you see what the 49ers offense did last night with the yak. They had a ridiculous amount of yak yards,
Yeah.
You like to see a little bit more out of Paris. But the routes he was running, he made some catches. Did he have a drop last? No, I don't think he had a drop last night. But look, that has to improve too, right? I like Wandell though. He got some snaps. Shepard, I think only got one. I don't think Shep got more than 2 snaps last night.
Yeah.
So he's kind of phased out of this. It looks like it's Slayton. Hodgins didn't have a catch. I think he was targeted once. Like we just said, a lot. Each game has its own story, different packages, 45 snaps, and all that stuff. So hopefully, Jerry, to get back in that 60+ snap next week, 55+ snap for the offense, and more guys get involved and all that stuff against a Seattle team that always gets better as the year moves along because Pete Carroll's one of the better coaches, and I want to freaking shoot myself because when we did the picks last week, that Detroit Seattle game, man, I was going back and forth. I said, no way they come out bad again with Pete Carroll. And then both tackles were out, and I went with the Lions. I said, yeah, okay, we're going to go with the Lions. And all week, I wanted to go with Seattle like an idiot. I changed.
Are you sure you did?
I went with the Lions. Yes,
okay.
Only I can tell you right now because Seattle, both offensive tackles are out. And that's why I said, well, you know what? I think Detroit will get them there and they'll win this game. But, man, I got it all week, Jerry. I was like, no way Pete Carroll's team comes out looking this bad 2 weeks in a row and all that. Anyway, point being, they probably won't make that mistake against Carolina at home again. And then they'll be coming into Giants Stadium. They beat the Giants pretty good last year. Julian Love comes back and all that stuff. That's a well-coached team, and they get better as the year moves along. That's a team I always get with Pete Carroll. So.
All right, dude. One more break, and we'll be right back after this, guys. You're listening to the Giant Insider Podcast. Hang on. And we're back, folks. Listen to the Giant Insider Podcast with Jerry Foley and Chris. Nobody beats the Biz Ignano. So we can mark down Julian Love for 1 interception next week because that's always how that works, right? When someone comes back and plays and they just play well.
I think you'll see a much better team on there. I really agree. Do. And if they're not a much better team next Monday night, people are going to be looking. It's going to be ugly. So it'll
be episode 173, The Funeral. Real quick, Gillen had a great game. I know he was just absolutely booming the ball. Sometimes he outkicks the coverage, but it worked last night. He averaged 52.7 on 6 punts and blasted 1 for 60. So cannot complain about the hammer right now. He's really living up to his name. So trying to find positives, Chris. I'm trying to find positives. And Graham Gano, 57-yarder, like you and I kick a 5-yarder. Like he just absolutely blasted through the opponents. So there we go. All right. Anything else before we get to picks?
No, that's it.
All right. We've done enough for that one. All right. So you're up 1.
I forgot we're doing picks, man. I forgot. I'm thinking the game. Yeah. I'm thinking this is just a review.
You're like, why did you take another break?
Okay. I forgot about that. I forgot about it. It's Friday, man. I'm off. I'm thinking it's Monday. Go ahead.
So you're up 1 after last week. We had a lot of different ones last week. You won 3. I got 2. And we were tied going in. All right. 1 o'clock, Falcons, Lions, Chris. I like the Lions at home.
Yeah, I'll go with the Lions too.
Ooh, a weird team and an ugly team right now. Chargers at Vikings.
I'll go with the probably stupid pick. I'll go with the Chargers.
I am too. They have to win sooner or later, but they are such a weird team. Saints at Packers. I'll go Packers at home.
Yeah, I don't like the way Derek Carr and the offense is looking. I'll go with the Pack at home too in that one.
Oh, Derek Carr is a gold jacket, right? That's
what
Colin Cowherd said. Put the gold jacket on him right now. He said that like last year or the year before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No. Texans at Jaguars. I'll go Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. Same. Broncos at Dolphins. Yeah. Dolphins at home for me. Oh, you're thinking. There we go.
You ready? I'm going to go with a Broncos upset.
All right. Nice. Yeah. Good stuff. Titans at Browns. Browns, huh? I thought they were going to
Titans.
I thought they were going to start off 2-0 for the first time in forever. But I think I still picked the Steelers. I think I still took the Steelers last week because I just the Tomlin wasn't going to go 0-2. I'm going to go Browns at home. And the Titans one is the one you won last week. They played somebody and you said, I'm going.
I'll go with Vrabel. Yeah. Chargers.
Yeah. Over the Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers,
yeah. Bills at Commanders. Man, if Washington wins again, Oof.
Yeah. Look, Washington coming off a nice win, come from behind, but I like the way the Bills looked last week. I thought they scaled back their offense a lot. And the big thing with the Bills, they got Gabe Davis involved. They got to get that number 2 receiver. They did last week. I like the Bills.
Me too. That's because I'm rooting for him too. Still 1 o'clock. Colts at Ravens. I'll go Ravens at home.
Yes, sir. Ravens.
Richardson still hurt.
He's out. He's not playing. Yeah.
They
have a better shot with Minshew, in my opinion, with that game. Go ahead.
Yeah. Patriots at Jets. I mean, this, you talk about a look. I know it's week 3, but the Jets have to win this game, dude. They really do. Like, psychologically, they got to beat the Patriots. I'm going Pats.
Well, I'm going to go with the Jets. I'll tell you why. I think they finally beat New England because I think the weather's going to be crappy still Sunday, and the Jets can run the ball better. I don't like the way New England played the run last week. Raheem gets 100-plus yards. I like the Jets. I think Breece Hall and Cook. I think the Jets' defense will do it. I just don't like this New England offense much. I think the Jets finally beat New England. I'll go with the Jets.
I think Zach Wilson's going to do something that just cripples that game. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't love Mac Jones either, but I mean, if Mac Jones on
I
the
just
Jets,
think, Jerry,
it
comes out of the Jets D and Wilson not having to lean on Zach Wilson, and that's why they win the game. We'll see.
Panthers at Seahawks, 4 o'clock. I'll go Seahawks at home. I think you will too, probably.
Yes.
I think you just said it.
Seahawks, yeah.
The biggest disappointment in the league, maybe, the Bears at the Chiefs. Oof. Chiefs at home.
I think we'll both be the
man.
Going
What a
with the Chiefs
disappointment.
now.
They've been a disappointment, the Bears, man. Cowboys at Cardinals. Man, they suffered a loss with Diggs, huh? Ooh, that's a shocker. In practice, man. Wow.
That's a huge loss. But they'll beat Arizona this week.
Yeah, same. 8:20 Sunday night. Steelers at Raiders.
I'll go with the Raiders. You'll go with the Steelers.
I'm going to go Steelers on the road. I am. Yeah. And again, 2 Monday night games. Eagles at Bucks. I love the Baker Mayfield story. He's the best quarterback in the league on third down, and the Eagles are going to beat him.
Yeah, I agree. The Eagles.
I'll be rooting for the Bucks, everybody. But
obviously, yeah.
And Rams at Bengals. Something's got to give there, right? The Bengals going to start off 0-3.
Probably not, but I tell you, Sean McVay, man, he's just showing what a hell of a coach he is.
I know.
Burrow's hurt, man. He's not moving well. I'll still go with Cincinnati at home. I think the defense will make big plays, but dude, I tell you, it wouldn't shock me to see the Rams go in and beat them. I'll go with Cincinnati at home. I don't think they go 0-3.
I'm with you because I just don't think they're going to go 0-3.
Right.
Someone tweeted at us and said, you guys should start doing points. I almost wrote back, guys, you think I'm going to keep track of the point spread and write all this down and make sure guys, this is hard enough for me. Okay. I get my ass handed to me year after year with just straight up wins, losses. So I'm not putting points in the,
this is just fun, folks. I don't want to worry about the points.
Holy crap. Anything else?
No. So I guess we'll do one show next week. There's no recap. So we'll do one, maybe we'll have a guest on
and we might do a live stream. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So Jerry will work on that. We'll probably have a guest on that's going to be with us, recapping and talking about the Giants and talking about the next game against Seattle. So we'll work on that. Hopefully we get that done. And that's it. We'll see. We'll talk next week.
And folks, the live stream has to work for like all three of us, right? It's probably going to have to be at night. So if the guest says, during the day one day, it's like, well, then we're probably not going to have a live stream because everybody's working. So it all has to come together. But the possibility of it happening is there. So again, guys, just want to thank you for the support all along, supporting the YouTube channel. If you haven't, please subscribe. And again, the live stream last night was a smashing success. We did lose, so we'll play that one week to week to see if I'm doing it again this week. But thank you all. All right, guys. Sundays are Giant days. Take care, everybody.
And don't forget, season starts in 10 days.
There you go, baby. Nice.